Death is Nothing But My Plaything is back. An episode on the slower side as they dance around the corpse god getting found out by the cops. He is slowly getting acclimated to life in this world, understanding how things work, but also looking to investigate the connections to the world they came from. Misaki is insane as always, but now has a body to match as she's become a zombie. It's cool they also give her powers other than not dying, such as the paralyzing bite. I guess zombies don't do much else, but any other upgrades would also be cool. In a turn of events, Corpse God is probably the second most sane character of the group, right behind Takumi. I wouldn't even argue with the way he sees every life as precious, wanting to live in peace, and punishing evildoers. They might just be the most sane character. A good way of making us think we had an evil main character, to now it's about what I would expect from an anime. A little bit of a letdown since I thought them being evil would be a good twist, but this does make Corpse God easier to root for. Now just give Polka's soul and the drone a voice, or put them in some cute robot dog or something, and we have a full rounded out crew. A decent episode as they seem to set up our encounters between the warring entities while still keeping the big plots mysterious and giving us a little bit of information, such as what are these cops' powers, who ordered the hit, and why on Polka. I've been thoroughly enjoying my time with it, and I hope you have as well. We see the skeletons did indeed get captured on video, and it's spreading all over the news. Misaki, being the weirdo she is, starts talking about how good those bones look. It seems the place that was on fire is an unlicensed child center, but that's an issue for another day. Misaki and Takumi are helping Corpse God move in and get used to things in this new world. Well, mostly Takumi, as Misaki is just chilling. It turns out that the building with all the tortured souls is actually owned by Clarissa, so Corpse God is moving in. Unfortunately, he can't get all the memories from Polka. As with any of us, the older the memory, the harder it is to recover. He decides to tell Misaki and Takumi about their past life in the other world. And with nothing else to do, Corpse God's next goal is to find the person that put the original hit on Polka and why. Takumi then name drops Lemmings, who apparently is a being that could possibly kill Corpse God. You mean to tell me someone can kill this abomination? They can use magic and raise the dead? Lemmings must be scary. Speaking of scary, Polka actually isn't gone. They're now in the drone that we had seen earlier. Wow. Imagine losing your body and getting stuck in a drone. But they still have kindness, as they tell Corpse God to forgive Misaki for killing them. Polka's a good person through and through. I would be bitter if I got stuck in a drone. I have no hands. Corpse God may have a solution, as he's able to put the soul into a substitute body once they find it. Now would Corpse God give up his current body or take the new one? Looking at the cover, I assume they stay in this one, but imagine you're Polka, and Corpse God just moves you to a new body and says, hey, I'm enjoying yours, so take this. Moving right along, Misaki gets a client, but Corpse God steps in since he needs the money. Now what jobs would be good for someone named Corpse God? Well, let's think about it. He could run an entire business with no workers, just using skeletons. DoorDash would also be easy with that many workers. Anything that needs a lot of manual labor, such as farmers, Corpse God would be able to contract thousands of dollars of manual labor a day. But those are all boring options, so we go on to killing stuff. It just turns out that this job involves the buddies of the murderer that killed Misaki's family. As Naruto runs into the fray, it's an obvious trap, since he didn't lie, but they're all there to try to avenge their boss that Misaki killed. Too bad for them, Misaki got a power boost as she's a zombie. And Corpse God didn't actually accept the guy's request, but the ghosts of children that haunt him. What language do you think those children use? Because they look like little babies, so it's possible some of them never learn to speak. That aside, Corpse God just absolutely demolishes them since magic is way too broken. With that done, the children seem to be able to find some resemblance of peace. Damn, were they just gonna cling on to the men until they died? That seemed like a terrible afterlife. But what isn't sad but impressive is how fast the bullet holes that Misaki healed. Corpse God is slowly looking like the least crazy person here. As Corpse God treats toys and humans' lives similarly, it's just that they value toys a lot more, keeping them pristine. Another case of misdirection, throwing us off with the toys comments, since most people don't treat their toys with as much care as they would a human life. Has Toy Story taught us nothing? Then Corpse God actually drops some interesting knowledge. He could turn Misaki from a zombie to a vampire. What does a vampire have to do with necromancy? And if it comes with not being able to be in the sun, that seemed like a downgrade to me. Although with flying. Anyway, back to Clarissa as she's having some fun and showing some ominous undertones. As raw meat can cure Misaki's wounds and her saliva is able to paralyze, with a full bite doing just that to Corpse God. Wow, she gets more broken by the minute. Seems like more points for Team Zombie instead of Vampire for me. Through the episode, we've seen glimpses of Iwanomi. Whether it be him waiting for Clarissa and getting choked out due to a harassing woman, should have known better. Keep your hands to yourself. Turns out he's the head of materials compiling group for the Shinjuku precinct community, and he's accompanied by Arase, as they are experts with anything with the occult, having dealt with various issues before, such as the infamous Lemmings that we've heard about in this episode, and two others, named Grim Reaper and Fire Breathing Bug. As they examine the human knot Corpse God made, since he left them alive, well, he made sure they would never kill again, so there's that. But kill me instead of, I guess death would have been too good for them. This has been Anime Disrobed, and as usual, like if you liked the video, dislike if you didn't. Subscribe for anything and everything gaming and anime, as episode of 3, Dead Mountain Death Play, The Necromancer, has officially been disrobed.